The law controls every hallway. Control collapses through deception. Courthouse Run, in theaters now.
Some breaking news. A sitting judge has been convicted by a federal jury. Judge Hannah Dugan of Milwaukee County was just found guilty of felony obstruction for helping an illegal alien escape ICE agents inside her own courthouse. This is the verdict that we've been waiting for. The jury heard the audio, they saw the evidence, and they delivered accountability. Dugan directed federal agents away from the defendant, then personally helped him escape through a back door while whispering to her court reporter that she would take the heat. You see, she thought she was above the law. Well, a jury just told her she was wrong. And now she faces up to 5 years in federal prison. Now think about what this means. A sitting judge, someone sworn to uphold the law, used her courtroom as a sanctuary operation. She didn't just look the other way. She actively obstructed federal law enforcement. ICE agents were in the public hallway attempting to make a lawful arrest. U.S. Attorney Brad Schimmel, he made it clear after the verdict, courthouse hallways are public spaces and arrests there are among the safest environments possible, safer than traffic stops. But Judge Dugan decided her politics mattered more than the law. She misdirected agents to another part of the building, then snuck a violent illegal migrant suspect through her jury room door. And here's what should infuriate every taxpayer in America. She's still drawing a $174,000 a year salary, even after conviction. The system protected her until it couldn't. And now she's facing the consequences that leftist ideology told her would never come. And when a sitting judge turns her courtroom into a sanctuary operation and helps a criminal escape federal agents, you're watching the system break down in real time. And when systems fail, the prepared survive. This Christmas, give the gift of food security with My Patriot Supply. Buy one, gift two Christmas special all month long. Buy one emergency food kit, get 2 more absolutely free. Grab your 4-week supply for yourself. And they include 2 one-week kits, totally free, perfect gifts for anyone who values self-reliance. When you can't trust institutions to uphold the law, you'd better be ready to take care of your own. Head to preparewithgary.com right now. The holiday offer won't last. That's preparewithgary.com. The link is in the description. Now, here's what makes the case even more damning. The defense spent months claiming this would never reach a jury. Left-wing legal pundits promised the charges wouldn't stick. They called it political persecution, but the evidence was overwhelming. The courtroom audio captured everything. Dugan saying she'd take the heat, Dugan directing the escape, Dugan obstructing federal agents in real time, and still, even after the conviction, some Democrats are praising her, calling her brave, calling her a hero. That tells you everything about how deep the rot goes. When judges believe the robe is a shield against accountability, the republic is already in danger, and tonight, a jury reminded every activist in America that no one is above the law. Now, let me introduce you to some of my new virtual anchors that we have just employed. When the news broke about 16 hours ago, we published this on our X account.
A federal breaking tonight. A Milwaukee judge just got convicted of a felony for helping a criminal illegal alien escape ICE. Judge Hannah Dugan found guilty of federal obstruction. Julia has more.
That's right, Melissa. A jury convicted Dugan for helping this illegal evade federal agents right inside her own courthouse. She faces up to 5 years in prison. Valerie?
A sitting judge sworn to uphold the law, actively obstructing federal immigration enforcement. This is what happens when leftist ideology trumps the Constitution. Wake up, America.
America is waking up fast. 8 hours ago, we have this from Fox 6. The Fox host Shannon Bream on Wake Up This Morning discussing the guilty verdict.
immigrant, and it is a case out in Milwaukee County that has garnered national attention. A jury finds Judge Hannah Dugan guilty of a felony charge of obstructing proceedings after she was accused of helping an illegal immigrant and criminal defendant evade ICE agents inside of her courthouse. Attorney and host of Fox News Sunday, Shannon Bream, is joining us now live to talk about this verdict. Shannon, wanted to bring you in here to ask you what this means when it comes to the conversation nationally on immigration enforcement in public places.
Yeah, I mean, and that is an ongoing conversation. We did hear from the Attorney General Pam Bondi this morning on social media saying that no one is above the law, sending a message that they're happy about this conviction. It is a felony conviction that, worst case scenario for the judge could be up to 5 years in prison. Almost nobody thinks that's going to happen. It's a non-violent offense. The judge has not been in trouble before, with respect to a federal crime. But it's very serious. So we now await the sentencing, and all clues and signs are there from her legal team that they do intend to appeal this. But, it seems the administration wants to be clear in sending a message that if other judges or other folks intend to aid in this way that obstructs a federal agent, there will be consequences.
It is a case out in Milwaukee County that has garnered national attention.
There will be consequences. You guys, you wanted perp walks, right? You wanted perp walks? We got our first one. We got our first scalp, guys. This is big. This is a big deal. We should all be just praising the system for finally working. Am I right? Look, I know she's just a Milwaukee judge, but listen, it's got to start somewhere. And this message, this verdict is going to send a message to the entire judicial system. You know what I'm saying? Now, back in April, I got the opportunity to ask President Trump about this very judge. Here's that moment I will never forget.
His arrest. Mr. President, what's next for cleaning up the courts after Judge Dugan's arrest?
Yeah, go ahead.
What's next for cleaning up the courts after Judge Dugan's arrest?
Oh, it's terrible. What happened there is terrible. That could happen with a judge is so ashamed. And we have to bring our country back from all these criminals that Biden allowed to come in. These are world-class criminals and people that are insane, people from jails, murderers, drug addicts, drug dealers. And, we have a country. We have to be proud of our country. We can't let these people stay. The courts are allowing them to stay. And we're just not going to allow it. So hopefully the Supreme Court will come to the rescue of our country. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. And that was an epic moment right there. And perfect timing, too, especially in light of the verdict coming in. Scott Jennings just 5 hours ago appeared on CNN in the hostile territory there, talking about Judge Hannah Dugan. Oh, actually, no, this is his take from April. Let's listen real quick.
Jury, and it's not.
The spectacle is important because a message has to be sent to everybody else. We're not going to put up, you've been elected by people to uphold the law, and some of the laws that have been most flagrantly violated in this country are immigration laws. You've got to get on board with upholding all the laws, not just the ones you like.
Let me respond, Scott. You know what's going to happen? If this goes to a jury, and it's not, it ain't going to make it to a jury. If this goes to a jury, I've done 100 trials. You're going to have
Yeah. Don't you love how that ended? And 3 hours ago, woke Milwaukee judge Hannah Dugan convicted of felony obstruction, still drawing her $174K salary, helped a violent illegal escape the courtroom when she learned ICE agents were in the hallway. Shocking audio reveals Judge Hannah Dugan directed a backdoor escape and saying, "I'll get the heat," while helping a defendant evade ICE. Let's check in with this one.
Down the government, the prosecutors then played some more audio from the courtroom from April 18th. It recorded a conversation between Doogie, the judge, and the illegals defense attorney, in which Dugan mentioned down the stairs. Yeah, just come back out my back door and you can go down the stairs. The clerk who sits next to the judge said he heard another court employee offer to show them. He said he heard Dugan say, "I'll do it. I'll get the heat." Oh, and the other employee said she'd rather get in trouble. Okay, so you've got all these illegal alien loving virtue signalers that are like, no, I'm going to stand up against fascism. No, I'm going to do it. I'm Batman. Like, no, none of you are Batman. You're all like a joke who will sell out your country for beating illegal aliens who beat people. So I'll do it. I'll get the heat. That's about as bad of an admission as you can get out of a judge. And they played some audio saying, we'll just send you down the stairs so you can escape. This is getting bad for her. Now, here we see Freed did not initially recall even seeing Dugan, the clerk, Flores Ruiz, or his attorneys at the jury door. The government, the prosecutors, then played some more audio from the courtroom from April 18th. It recorded a conversation between Dugan, the judge, and the illegals defense attorney, in which Dugan mentioned down the stairs. Yeah, just come back out my back door and you can go down the stairs. The clerk, who sits next to the judge, said he heard another court employee.
Wow. Unreal. I'll take the heat, right? She's taking the heat now. U.S. Attorney Brad Schmiel spoke after the judge was found guilty. He said Dugan is neither evil nor a martyr.
Serious for all, and all need to keep this case in proper perspective, and I hope that all viewers, readers, listeners will pay attention to this. Some have sought to make this about a larger political battle. While this case is serious for all involved, it is ultimately about a single day, a single bad day in a public courthouse. The defendant is certainly not evil, nor is she a martyr for some greater cause. It was a criminal case like many that make their way through this courthouse every day, and we all must accept the verdict peacefully. We all need to keep this case in proper perspective.
Peacefully. I anticipate Antifa showing up at the courthouse at some point. This is the news I love to hear. American Papa Bear writes, the jury found Judge Hannah Dugan guilty. She faces 5 years. She was the judge in Wisconsin, helped the illegal evade ICE. Who wants to see her serve the max time? Let's see what this news reports about.
Guilty of a breaking news closer to home tonight. A jury found Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan guilty of obstruction. She was accused of helping an undocumented immigrant evade federal agents. Jury deliberations began today. Dugan did not testify in her own defense.
Yeah, in your case, you don't need to testify because the audio speaks for itself. Yes, you have the right to remain silent, Judge. Easily the most damning piece of evidence in the case is her saying, I will take the heat, just before she snuck a violent criminal illegal through the jury room door.
Illegal alien. The other most damning piece of evidence, other than Judge Cervera's testimony, was the audio in which she tells her court reporter, I'll take the heat for sneaking Flores Ruiz, Eduardo Flores Ruiz, the violent illegal.
That's all it took. I'll take the heat. The heat for what? The heat for breaking the law. Yeah, that's an admission of guilt. Right there, caught on tape in the moment of the crime. Oh, man. Okay, this is another hit from Brad Schmiel, U.S. Attorney, defending law enforcement making arrests in the courthouse public hallways.
Should be entitled to identify the safe. Law enforcement is going to execute arrest warrants. And frankly, in most cases, the arrest warrants are issued by a judge. Law enforcement should be entitled to identify the safest place to do that. And a circuit court building that has a metal detector and security check-in at the front door is among the safest places we can find. I heard suggestions during the trial, well, why didn't they do a traffic stop? Traffic stops are inherently dangerous. You've all reported on the news of traffic stops that turn into dangerous chases where citizens and police officers sometimes get killed or hurt. That's not a safer way to do it. This was the safest way to do it. Like I said, I understand the concerns that Chief Judge Ashley expressed, but in the end, this is a way to do it that is safer for everyone.
Think about the strategic positioning of those ICE agents. They went into a courthouse, one of the safest places that they can be. They didn't take the risk to the streets. They didn't endanger the public. It was a calculated move to protect the public in a controlled environment. It was textbook genius. And they did it because they wanted to keep the public safe. But of course, Judge Dugan made the bad move, made a bad decision, and now she's taking the heat. So there she is. There's the judge. I wonder what's going to happen next. Is she going to be disbarred? We'll find out soon enough. But the U.S. attorney made something very clear after the verdict. What was it? Let's get that clip up here because I want to see that's history right there. He made something very clear after the verdict. He said Judge Dugan is neither evil nor a martyr. But what she did was criminal. She turned a courtroom into a sanctuary corridor. She used her authority to obstruct federal law enforcement. She helped a violent illegal migrant escape lawful custody. And she did it all because ideology told her federal immigration enforcement was the enemy. The jury disagreed, the law disagreed, and now Hannah Dugan faces up to 5 years in federal prison. This was not about compassion. This was about power. And tonight, the rule of law just punched back. So the verdict sends a message to every activist judge in America who thought the bench was a sanctuary. Guess what? It isn't. Judge Hannah Dugan was trusted to uphold the law. Instead, she used her courtroom to obstruct it. She helped a violent illegal alien escape ICE while federal agents waited in the hallway. She whispered she'd take the heat, and now she's facing 5 years in prison for felony obstruction. The jury heard the audio. They saw the timeline. They watched the defense completely collapse. And the verdict that they delivered, guilty as charged. Meanwhile, leftist pundits who promised the case would never reach trial, they're silent tonight. Some are still calling her a hero. But that's the state of the left in America, celebrating obstruction of justice from the bench. So here's my question for the comment section. Let's talk about it. Should Judge Dugan serve the maximum 5 years? Should she be stripped of her robe? Yes or no? Sound off in the comments. And grab your gear at the Next News merch shop. You'll find it linked down below.
The system controls information. Information control is power. I don't want you to see this. Truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.